Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing tonight? I'm alright. Thanks for asking. So, uh, new starter deck's out. Oh my god! It's so bad. Although Pension Dragon wasn't in it. That's completely irrelevant to this topic, but as you can see on the screen, Silent on the Arc is on the screen, but we're actually going to be talking about the top 5 ZEAL cards, because now that the new starter deck is out, we are now officially at the end of an era. Now you could say that there have now been 5 eras. Obviously, we're on the 5th one with Arc 5. Interesting. It's cool because it mixes up everything. But everything before that has had its own kind of thing. Like Jaden had his fusions. Yusei had his synchros, which was generally the thing that they were trying to push, and then they moved away from synchros, which they kept it going, but it wasn't very popular until maybe Judgment of the Light, and then they started bringing out more synchros. Yuma used Xyz. So in this era, it was very interesting because it kind of the power creep jumped up a lot, and a lot of people kind of were like, I don't know, it's got really powerful. This game's getting completely crazy now. But from all of that, we can still derive a top 5 list. It's very, very difficult because I started this video off thinking, could I make a top 10? But I realized it would take me a hell of a long time because I'd have to keep switching things around because I'm thinking that's actually better than that, and that's better than that, and so on. Now, before I do my list, I would just like to quick a quick shout out to the Bermondsey Gamers Club. If you are from the UK, I would definitely suggest for you to check out the Brotherhood Open, which is on Facebook. Search it on the search bar, find out about it. It's going to be in London on August the 17th. £20 entry, some really great prizes for the top cut. It's got he just booked a venue that's going to have 200 players maximum, so it's going to be a very big tournament, larger than most regionals. Actually, I think it's going to be larger than regionals. So it's going to be very big, and it's going to be even bigger if people like you who live in the UK can come down or come from somewhere and come and play for that day. It's going to be really easy to get to, really lots of fun. You're going to meet some really good competitive players. So I would definitely recommend if you're from the area to come and visit and play for the day. It'll be a lot of fun. Lots of prizes to be won. So let's start off our list. Now, to be a ZEAL card, it needs to be released in a set after Generation 4. So obviously after from Generation Force onwards after Extreme Victory, and the card becomes less relevant the longer it's been in the less it's been in the ZEAL era. So cards like Angeli and Artifact Sanctum did not make the list, and obviously for you, you might be playing Hat, and you're like, but I play Hat. The card deck is the best deck ever. Oh my god! I'm like, yeah, but all the cards came out just now, like a month ago or 2 months ago. It wasn't enough. Like there are some cards which are really relevant, which have been amazing this era, and have been out for 2 years or a year and a half. So you have to give them a lot more credit. That's just how it is, and that's how I feel about it. So as you can see, number 5 on the list is number 101 Silent Honor Arc. Now, obviously, this card came out about 6 months ago in Legacy of the Valiant, but it's incredibly strong. I feel like its power outweighs the fact that, even though I just said that it shouldn't be on the list if it's just come out, but it has not just come out, it actually has been out for half a year, so it has got a reason to be on the list, but it's not on the list further on the list rather than 5th place. So it's incredibly powerful. It's completely changing how we play the game. A lot of times you just want to summon something in defense mode. Don't be silly and put it in attack mode thinking that its attack will be strong. Sometimes just putting something in defense mode will stop you from taking 2100 to the face. So it's actually psychologically affects people's playing patterns and how they end up finishing their turn off, whether they make a track attack in defense, whether they summon Garunix in defense. It actually provides a lot of decks with a lot of different ways to get over decks that they couldn't previously. So stuff like Light Swans, you could easily just arc the JD, and then you can start pushing over things, and then they're like, oh crap, I've lost my JD, I can't do anything. So in that way, it's actually very, very strong. I think it definitely deserves a place on the list, but it's not number 1, so we're going to move ahead. So number 4 is, if it's going to work for me, play the next one. Okay, the next one is Spellbook of Judgment. Right, so this is interesting because I was really debating on whether to put this on the list in the first place. There's a couple of things. It is incredibly powerful. I would say out of all the cards on the list, it's the most powerful. For an archetype to have a card like this, it was forcing people to debate on quitting. It was that strong. The fact that you can activate all of the cards in your hand and take a neg, and then in the end phase add them all back, and then special summon a spellcaster, it's incredibly powerful. I just don't know what they were thinking. It's so strong. So, so strong. I just can't say anything else about it, because if you just read the effect, you just realize, if you've never seen the card before, you read it and you go, how does a card like this exist? And yet it existed in a format where it wasn't the strongest deck, because the strongest deck in the format was so broken that it overpowered Spellbook of Judgment. And Spellbook of Judgment, you can tell that it's broken as hell. Those few months was probably one of the worst things in Yu-Gi-Oh ever, and yet, I can't deny the power of this card. It's just so strong that it had to have a place on the list, even though it was been out for a year. It was in the ZEXAL era long enough to be relevant, and it got banned very quickly. But I could still say that for it to be bannable meant that it was a very powerful card, and it was one of the defining cards of the era. Not as defining as three other cards on our list, but very, very, very powerful and defining for the era anyway. So number 3 is Fire Formation TENKI. Now, obviously, this is not on the level of Spellbook of Judgment, but we're not going by power levels, by what's more powerful, because TENKI, I think it's one of the most important cards in the whole era, because it basically says, oh, reinforce on the army was good, but how about this? How about this? Give Fire, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear some kind of like amazing power to be able to get over anything you want. I mean, I was going to put Bear on the list, but I thought TENKI actually gets the Bear, and TENKI gets Constellar Chaos, and also gets Koku Mirror Urnite, and also gets Reborn Tengu, also gets all these amazing cards. So actually searches a hell of a lot of broken cards, and yet, if you just say that particular card is good, then that's fine, but Fire Formation TENKI is the facilitator of broken cards. So its existence at 3 is incredibly strong, and any deck that's Beast Warrior based, or any deck that has the Fire Fist engine, Wolfbark, anything like that, TENKI is the reason behind why it's so consistent. So to have this on the list is a pleasure, because I feel like at 3, at a third place on the list, it's justified, because it's just so much it can do, and also with the bear interaction, it's just absolutely ridiculous, and I love the card so much. I love the consistency of it, so good, and it has been out for a year and a half, so I don't feel like it's bad to put it on the list. So next on the list is Little Rescue Rabbit. Aww, so cute. I think when I went to YCS Brighton back in December 2011, Rescue Rabbit was the deck, and the final was the mirror match, Dino Rabbit mirror match. But the thing is, the reason why I have it at number 2 on the list, one, because it's a +1 on summon, and obviously you can summon 1900 beaters and attack with them, if you want to do that. But just like TENKI, it allows a lot of decks to be playable. Like EVILSWARM became playable, Dino Rabbit became playable, Gem Knights became playable. A lot of decks which has random normal monsters became playable. So you can play this card in a deck that has 3 normal monsters of the same name, and you can start doing things with it. So EVILSWARM, this card, into OPHION then set 4, is just one of the most annoying fucking things you have to put up with. But Rescue Rabbit is absolutely ridiculous. Even at 1, you rib it, you open it up, and you do it, and it's just so strong. It just helps so many decks, and it just gives a lot of things. Even Gladiator Beast can use it with Andal, and then make that Gladiator Beast chariot thing, the guy in the chariot, the gorilla thing. So very, very strong. And I just think that the fact this is so cute. I mean, I can't stop looking at the picture. It's adorable. So yeah, really, really strong, really, really good. Banish, summon, attack tag, make a massive Xyz monster. It was a facilitator of a lot of broken things in this game, but it also is incredibly adorable, and it was one of those little mascots of the game that a lot of people will refer to when they talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And it'll be like, oh, look at Rescue Rabbit, look how cute it is. So I personally think it deserves a place on the list. And now we're going to go to number 1 on the list, and you probably might have guessed it, but it is my personal opinion, and if you guys don't agree with any of this list whatsoever, or maybe the ordering, or maybe things that I've missed out, then comment down below your top 5. That's completely fine with me. So number 1 is Mecha Phantom Beast Jakasek. Now, I think Jakasek is number 1 because it was played in the most broken deck of the format of back when it was around, and then even since it's come out, there have been tons of decks. Any deck that can use level 7s will do it. Light Swarm Rulers can do it, Dragon Rulers can do it, Mecha Phantom Beast, the actual archetype itself, can use it. So many different decks can use it, and when you do have it, it's incredibly strong. It's a fantastic way to, you do lots of popping, and then you do some attacking, and then you overlay summon Drekasek, summon tokens, which means it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and then you pop again. So you're literally plussing out of your ass, summoning a massive monster that can't be destroyed, and your opponent has to waste resources to kill it. So if you want to neg your opponent like 4 cards in one turn, Drekasek is the way to do it. And a 2600 that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects while you have tokens is incredibly strong. So I just feel like it's the most broken thing ever. It's so good. I mean, like, it's got so many great things. It's a rank 7, so it's easy to access. It's wind, and it's a machine. It's just so much. 2600 gets over so many things. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. Oh, just... so good. So, in my opinion, it's the best. But I feel like Rescue Rabbit, Fire Formation Tenki, Spellbook of Judgment, Silent Honor Arc, they're all so good. I feel like they have changed the way that the game plays, but that they aren't the only 5. I mean, I made a little list here, continue on. A bunch of cards, like Big Eye. Hell, that's just like your opinion, man. You know, that's one of them. Breakthrough Skill was also incredibly powerful. CARDCARD D, very powerful. That almost made the list. I think that would have been number 6 on the list because it single-handedly changed a whole format with CARDCARD Fire. And also other decks like Hieratics can use it. It was incredibly versatile. Exciton Knight almost made the list, but because of the fact that it's debatable whether or not it's really good, you know, it is fantastic, but it's still not sure whether or not it would have made the list because I felt like Arc was a better card. EVILSWARM OPHION, but I felt like Rescue Rabbit was a facilitator of this deck because otherwise you'd be doing +0s all the time. So Rescue Rabbit was one of the reasons why this deck is so strong. GEARGIAGEAR, obviously this last few months has been everyone's having to put up with GEARGIARs, and this card is probably the reason why it's so powerful. Mermail Bisland, very strong. I just feel like out of all the Mermail cards, the whole reason why Mermails are so strong, you know, we had to go through like 6 months of Mermails, non-stop Mermails until Dragon Rulers came out. Mermail Bisland was probably one of the reasons because of the interaction with Abyss Megalo, the interaction with Abyssgund and Abyssphere meant that you could abuse Lind every single turn, and it's just so strong. Gets you massive 2700 beaters for no cost. So, you know, single-handedly made the deck incredibly strong. If they ever limited it to 1, the whole deck would have died out. I don't know why they didn't do it. So, yeah. Soul Child was also on that list, and I believe the next card is back to Arc again. Yep, so Soul Child was the last card on the list. The reason why I didn't put it on there is because it came out very recently, back in May. So, I felt like it came out a bit too late, but it was incredibly powerful, and it would have definitely made the list out of a top 10. So, that's my little list. I hope you guys liked it. So definitely comment down below your top 5, or you don't have to make a top 5. You can just put your top 5 favorite cards, but you don't have to do it in a list. Just comment down below your opinions if you think I'm wrong, if you think I've missed something important. But there's a lot of cards in this era which have really changed how the game is played. Xyz monsters have been incredibly powerful. So that's it for today. So thanks for watching, guys, and my voice is dying, so so thanks for watching, and until next time, the TECHglover is out.